Greetings, and thanks for tuning in to my channel. As you maybe look at the background here, you'll see that even though I've built this particular video as a keto video, you'll see that I'm not a doctor. The tools back there look nothing like the kind of tools that a doctor would use, except unless maybe they were practicing in the Middle Ages. No, those tools are for something else completely different. In fact, I don't have any official credentials at all to talk about keto. The only thing that I have is my experience as a practitioner. I've been doing keto for about a year and a half right now, and at the age of 72, I'm almost 73, I've lost close to 80 pounds, and I've done that without dieting. That is, dieting in a traditional sense, severe calorie restrictions. I've done it without spending time as a gerbil on a treadmill and severe exercises and feeling miserable and hungry all the time. No, I've eaten well and I've felt good. And I highly recommend the ketogenic diet for any number of reasons. But the reason that I'm presenting this now to you is to help you if you're new to keto or you're just considering keto. There's some things I think I can share with you after all this experience that I've had that are going to help you. It's going to save you a lot of time and save you a lot of wasted energy and frustration. If you've actually been considering keto and you've been on the internet and you've been looked around, you'll find that the snake oil salesman is alive and well. He's not just running around, in a Conestoga wagon with his special doctor or whatever his name, elixir back in the 19th century. Nope, he's alive and well, and he's flourishing actually on YouTube. YouTube is a wondrous source and very beneficial, but there are also people who are trying to live off of YouTube instead of actually make a real legitimate living. And so they come into keto and they give a whole bunch of advice, and they're producing videos day after day after day so they can get a big paycheck from YouTube. And some of them are very good, okay? But a lot of them are there presenting stuff that really are not going to help you on keto, and they're not going to further your goals for keto. So I'm going to leave some recommendations down in the bottom of the best people that I know after doing this for about a year and a half, and especially researching it for over a full year. And I hope you'll check these people out, because these people are the best that I've seen, and they'll give you the best advice to help you get quickly and safely into the ketogenic diet with the least amount of angst and frustration on your behalf. They also answer a lot of your questions, and they're very generous people. And yes, they do produce content, but it's really good content, so I'm going to highly recommend them. Now, in terms of just giving you some basic advice about what you see on YouTube, as someone who's looking into keto and you're trying to find out the right way, there are going to be people there that are going to be playing some games with you that really are not valid games. One of them is the net carb game. If you go into the drugstore and you look at Dr. Atkins, you'll see the bars will say that this bar has 25 carbohydrates. But it has so many fibers, so you subtract the fibers and you subtract the sugar alcohols or whatever, and then that leaves you with only 4 net carbs, and that's really great, so you can chomp away at that. I ate those Atkins bars for quite a while, trying to lose weight, and I did exactly that amount of weight loss, 0. I didn't lose any weight. The net carb game is a phony, false game. Don't go for it. And then there are going to be people saying, oh, look, you can have this candy, or you can add these sweeteners, or you can do this or that. Don't do that, okay? Down the line, maybe after you've been doing keto for a long time, you might try a few things. But let me recommend that when you're first doing keto, to do it and to do it right and clean. Eat good, clean, whole food. Don't play the game of all the sweeteners. Oh, this doesn't spike your blood sugar. You know, it grinds your weight loss to a halt, and it basically brings your ketosis down to almost nothing. And you're not going to lose weight if you're not in ketosis. So those are a couple things I can assure you are good advice. Now, there are three of these people that I've linked that are really great. Okay, they're really great, and they'll give you the straight information, and they have, you know, different styles. There's Dr. Boz. Dr. Boz will give you science-heavy information, really good research, extremely well supported. And I recommend one of her videos that's really super. I think it's one of her latest videos, actually. This is February 12th or 11th or something like that. And that one is the 5 main reasons for doing keto. And you will find that she gives the fifth reason. That's the least important reason, and she lists it as weight loss. Most people are going to say weight loss, but I can tell you for sure that there have been times in this process, especially when I got kind of stuck in terms of my weight, that I've been at a certain weight for several weeks or even a month or a month and a half, that I said to myself, you know, there's so many other benefits to ketogenic eating that if I never lost another ounce, there's no way that I would go back to playing the old carb game. And she gives a list, and I'll say personally, I've experienced every one of the things she's listed, and I've experienced these things not a little bit. So I recommend that you look at that and consider that all those benefits that are laying out there for you, not just a little bit of weight loss, okay? Weight loss is really the least of it. It's not that it's unimportant, but other things are much more important. And all these things basically militate to increasing your health and your clarity and all that stuff. The other physician is actually a chiropractor. His name Dr. Eric Berg, B-E-R-G, and his videos are really very, very good. And the thing that's so nice about them is, unlike Dr. Boz, his videos are usually short, sometimes no more than 3 or 4 minutes. And what he does is he gives you concise and complete bits of knowledge about a particular aspect of ketogenic eating in a very short form. So you can find a lot of information from Dr. Berg that way. Another physician is Dr. Berry. Now, Dr. Berry is a good old Southern boy like myself, and he himself is, again, a practitioner of ketogenic eating. He lost a lot of weight eating keto, and he's had a lot of experience with patients like Dr. Boz has. And all that stuff is very helpful. And the thing I really like about Dr. Berry is he gives you a lot of straight talk, and he doesn't mince any words. One of the things that he says that I think is really we need to take to heart, especially nowadays, is not to be deceived by credentialism. Now, what do I mean by credentialism? Oh, well, he's Dr. So-and-so. He's from Harvard, or he's a Yale professor, or this and that. You know, what I'm finding is big credentialism, and I've found this for years and years, is tied especially in this time in America, it's tied to big money. So credentialism is bought and paid for to produce the science and the results and the conclusions that bring more money to big money. So many people who are at the top of our institutions for all kinds of reasons, mainly money, they're bought and paid for by the people who make big money off of, well, in this case, in food manufacturing. This is the first time in the history of the world that literally oceans of carbohydrates are available, readily available, up in your eyes at the supermarket. In fact, that's just about all you see. If you go into the heart of the supermarket, I'd say go down any aisle, you'll find an ocean of carbohydrates. I'd say stay away from the center of the supermarket as much as possible. Get on the periphery, get where the fresh vegetables are, get where the meats are, get where the fats are, the cheeses and stuff like that, and stay away from all the grains and all that stuff. I tried eating grains, I tried eating healthy, doing what I thought was healthy, and I never lost a single ounce. And yet I'm nearing 80 pounds. And when you say, well, after a year, and 80 pounds is not that much, but actually it is, especially so I'm only 5'6". So I've lost a little over a third of my body weight at my top weight. I'm not going to tell you what my top weight was, but it was up there, all right? And so what I'd say is to don't worry about their credentialism. You're going to find people out there scaremongering, and when you look at their background, if you look at the institutions they're representing, or you look at the businesses they're representing, you'll see that there's an agenda that they have. That if you cut down eating carbohydrates, eating what the government calls a balanced meal, then it's going to be terrible for you and you won't be able to sustain it. I'm here to tell you that's a lie. And finally, among many other things I could say, is I want to recommend that you stay completely away from the idea that keto is a diet. Keto is not a diet. It's a completely different way of eating that is a life way of eating. If you ever seen the movie, what's it called, Artificial Intelligence, you notice there are two kinds of critters in that movie. There's the mecha and the orga. There's the organic people, natural people, like most of us, even though some of us don't actually act like that way. But anyway, we're organic people. And then there are the machines that are made so realistic that you can't tell the difference. So in a sense, our society is that way when it comes to eating, because they're the carb burners and they're the fat burners. And what you're going to be doing is switching from carb burning to fat burning. Now, you think, well, that would sound kind of easy. What's the difference? Well, the difference is the mechanism that carries fat burning through your bloodstream and nourishes your cells and also nourishes your brain. It's a different mechanism from the mechanism that carries carbohydrates. And if you're a carb burner for a long time, the mechanism that carries the fats for keto, they're snoozing. They're in the liver and they're snoozing, and they need to be stimulated. They need to be awakened so they can carry the ketones, carry them through your system, and you can burn the fats. There's no splitting the difference. There's no, I'll do keto, 5 days, and then I'll cheat on the weekends. No, it's not that way. This is you enter into it. It's a way of life. It's a way of eating, and that's what you do, and it can be sustained for your entire lifetime. So I'm going to recommend that you enter keto with that in mind. And if you follow the good advice, avoid the snake oil, avoid all the fancy foods and the foods you're going to see that are manufactured now to get on the keto bandwagon. Avoid that, especially at the beginning. Later, once you're into it, you can see what's what. You're getting some good results. And then you can begin to add some stuff to see, just test it out one thing at a time. Then that's fine. But forget about all those fancy pre-made products that you see on the shelves. You'll see them at Costco and other places. And everything that's marked keto is not keto. It's not good. So try to stay with natural foods. Try to stay keeping your carbs. Dr. Boz recommends to get your carbs below 20 carbs a day. Now, if you're not experienced with carb counts, you don't. By the way, you don't count calories or anything like that. You just count carbs. If you're not experienced with carb counts, then say most Americans eat about 200 carbohydrates a day, and they're real carb burners. When you drop your carbs below 20 carbs a day, and then you begin to fuel your body primarily by fat, and then moderate protein, then you're going to begin to get into a ketogenic state. So that's what I would advise, and forget about all the rest. Now, the final thing is that you're going to hear, especially people like Dr. Boz, if you begin to listen to her, she might scare you because she's really into fasting, intermittent fasting, and doing sustained fasts. Don't even worry about that when you start keto. The first thing is to get in a ketogenic state and stay there for a while. And it has certain effects on your body that are wondrous. Immediately after you get through the first period, you're going to feel better. And you're going to see some weight loss. Stay with it. Set your goals. If you have goals, I had goals that were basically 20 pounds apart. Set your goals and be determined to stay there. And don't think, oh, I'm going to cheat today. Don't do that. Be as determined as possible to hold on and to stay in there. Keep your carb count below 20 grams a day. And then you'll begin to see that the intermittent fasting, and these doctors will help you understand what that means, and then sustained fasting is not a grievous thing. In fact, once you're burning carbs, your hunger, the amount of time that you get hungry is dramatically reduced. You almost never experience hunger, as a matter of fact. So going 14 hours, 16 hours, 20 hours is not really a problem. But don't concern yourself with that at the beginning. The first thing is to get good solid food, get the right food, get the proper ratio of fats, proteins, and microscopic carbs, and sustain that until you get in a ketogenic state. And you'll find that all these changes take place. And when you're ready to do intermittent fasting, it'll probably happen without you even noticing. You'll say, I forgot to eat lunch. And you won't be hungry. But that's on down the road. So you're going to hear a lot of information, beginning, intermediate, and advanced. Dr. Boz has a wonderful video called the Keto Continuum. And that's a good one, so you can get some perspective about where beginners are and what happens with intermittent eating. And then when you get more advanced, and so you'll get some overall perspective. That's really actually a nice video even for a beginner to see, because you get this overall perspective. You see, where you are and where you can possibly go and what the ultimate is for this. And it's really all about stabilizing your blood sugar, not just losing weight, but stabilizing your blood sugar, giving you steady energy, and giving you mental clarity. And along with that comes the weight loss. So this is this is advice for beginners, people who don't really quite know what keto is, and they see a lot of confusing stuff. And I hope that what I've shared with you today will give you a little better idea of how to approach this. I know through a lot of experience and a lot of listening that these three people that I'm recommending, are very credible people. They have different approaches, and they'll all help you. And generally speaking, all their advice and everything pretty much harmonizes. So that's about it. It just seems a little disorganized to you. I'm sorry. I tried to kind of organize it in my mind. I don't write stuff out. I'm not, torturing teleprompters or anything like that, like a certain famous person that I know. But anyway, I'm just trying to share with you from my own experience things that I know, and I hope, and I'm sure actually, that will help you. And with that, thanks for putting up with me.